Very good afternoon, everyone. This is Rostrochen back in action. Flight to the Phoenix, Chapter 5, Episode 5. It feels like Episode 1 was just the other day. We seem to be moving quite fast, but I'm happy because you all seem to be tuning in and listening. And obviously, people are, as I've always said, resonating to the story and obviously going through very similar stuff. And I'm hoping my talks help. Please excuse my attire. This is my Diba kit. We had a memorial council in the morning and then a memorial service in Mbomoza at Paipini Sports Ground, where recently a taxi had a collision and all 11 passengers lost their lives, and most of them kids. So yeah, it was very sad, but we went to represent as councillors at that funeral. So yeah, it was quite a tough service. Yeah, you know, our roads aren't safe anymore, and it's very very dangerous for people that are traveling in public transport at the moment. Yeah, it's just, yeah. So we're obviously trying to put pressure through all spheres of government, trying to make sure that our roads are safer and our public transport is safer. Well, enough of that. Let's get on to chapter 5, the story of today. We ended off last time just talking about it was a Sunday and spending time with family and that, and just learning how to be and breathe again. But I want to start off, I'm not going to start off with a quote this time. I might end off with a quote. You know, we all reach a moment when the chaos sort of quietens down. Not because the storm has passed, but because we're too tired to run from it anymore. It was in that silence that I finally looked in the mirror. Not the one hanging from the bathroom wall or the hallway. I'm in the mirror inside of me. That one that doesn't lie, you know. It's got all your hidden secrets and your triggers and understanding your past, and what makes you tick as a person and what brings anxiety, obviously. The one that stares back at you with all your regrets, your mistakes, your choices, and still asks, so what now? It's the most honest opinion you can ever receive is from inside, and it plays massive tricks on your mind and creates the most unbelievable anxiety as well when you're dealing with stuff that you haven't dealt with. I spent years climbing mountains that weren't mine to even climb, chasing expectations, approval, escape, just recognition, you know. But I never stopped to ask if the summit was worth it, you know. And by the way, the time I did, I had already lost sight of the ground. That's how late it was. So yeah, it's tough. But here's what I didn't lose. And this is possibly the most important thing that I've learned and I've taken for granted, actually, is I never lost them. And when I talk about them, I talk about my older brother and my older sister, who I've been ups and downs with. I mean, yeah, my sister's been overseas, my brother's been here, and he's moved down to Kloof from Pietermaritzburg. We actually worked together for a while. And as brothers and sisters do, we have our quarrels and our bickers, and we don't talk to each other for a while. But, you know, amongst all the mist, they always seem to rise up. They've been there through all of it. Quiet, solid, never needing to say much. Just always present. The kind of presence that doesn't need to announce itself. Because you can feel it. Literally, you can feel it. in the way they showed up when I didn't know how to ask or where to go, in the way they protected my dignity, even when I was unraveling as fast as clockwork. It was that scary. And I must also pay tribute to my nephews and nieces. I'm an uncle of 7. Obviously, I'm the Laatlamiki, but I'm an uncle of 7. My sister's got 4, and my brother's got 3. And some of them have children now, so I'm a great uncle, if you can call it that. Those beautiful, chaotic, joyful sounds of them shouting Rossi, Uncle Rossi, especially when they were smaller, but now they're big, so they still call me Rossi. I don't want to be called uncle. I'm not old, and I don't feel old, so I want to be called Rossi, and they're not much sort of younger than me. So they reminded me what innocence looks like, what unconditional love feels like. A simple Rossi shouting across the room did more for my healing than 1,000 therapy sessions ever could. They didn't see my failures, they just saw me, Ross, Uncle Rossi. In their eyes, I was enough. Funny how the smallest hearts can carry the heaviest parts of your broken soul without even knowing it. Chapter 5 is not about blame. It's not about pity. It's about responsibility. It's about learning to sit with yourself and to forgive yourself. To walk back into the fire you caused and start clearing the ash with your bare hands. Because no one is coming to rescue you or to save you. You're meant to rise alone, on your own. You're meant to gain that strength within yourself, in that little mirror inside there, and fight. And fight, really fight hard. Not in spite of the fall, but because of it. You've got to fight for yourself because of the fall, not in spite of it. Because of it, it's taught you a lesson, in actual fact. When you rise, you carry those who never let your hand go, every step of the way. I hadn't lost them. My older brother and sister, they were never loud about their love, never dramatic, just there. When I was falling apart in silence, they were there. They were the ones who heard the pieces hit the floor, because they know me more than anyone else does, more than anyone else in the world. They didn't try to fix me. They didn't force conversations. They just stayed close enough that I never had to walk through this wreckage alone. There's something deeply powerful about that kind of loyalty. The kind that doesn't demand attention, because it isn't about them. It's about you, me, and making sure you remember that you're still worth showing up for, even when you forget how to show up for yourself. And then there's the little ones and the spouses. My brother's wife has been although not direct family, she feels like direct family. Been absolutely amazing, every step of the way. The little ones, my nieces and nephews, I'm going to call them little ones, but they're big now. Beautiful, unpredictable at times. Wild little guys and girls. We've also had our ups and downs. They didn't know the details. They didn't really understand. They didn't need to. They just saw me, how I was, and how I am now. To them, I wasn't broken. I wasn't lost, I was just Ross, Uncle Ross. And that was enough. That was more than enough. They had run to me like I was a hero, not knowing how much I needed those arms around my neck. They reminded me what joy looked like. Not manufactured joy, not Instagram joy, but real, unfiltered, messy joy. Messy joy. That kind that doesn't ask you for anything, it just gives. Those moments, hearing them laugh, watching them play, feeling their trust, they were like resurrections. When I say play, they're big children now. I mean, just being them, made me feel whole again. Part of that family, the family that I love so much and that I'll continue to fight for. Those moments, the proof that even when everything feels burned down, there's still something inside you that can feel alive. And that's what people who love and support you unconditionally do. They bring out those feelings. No one is coming to save you, guys. Not because you're unworthy, but because you're capable of doing it yourself. More than capable. But you're in a fight with yourself. You weren't meant to be rescued. You were meant to rise. And I'm going to continue saying that. Rise from the mistakes. Rise from the losses. And rise from the resilience you drowned in. Hope you enjoyed tuning in. Until next time, have a great weekend.